Welcome to this week's Essential Business Briefing. We're digging into some huge government and regulatory changes that are absolutely going to affect your bottom line, your team, and pretty much how you run your business. So let's get you prepared. We've got a fair bit to get through, so here's a quick look at what's on the agenda. We'll kick things off with changes to your taxes, then jump into a major shakeup in employment law. After that, we'll flag some urgent deadlines, and we'll finish up with a few sector-specific alerts. All right, first up, your taxes. There are some big shifts on the horizon that are going to hit your wallet, especially when it comes to pulling profits out of your company. Okay, so take a look at this. Kicking in from April 2026, we're seeing a pretty significant jump in dividend tax rates. Both the ordinary and upper rates are going up by a full 2%. Now, the additional rate, that's staying the same, as is the £500 tax-free allowance. But for many business owners, this is a targeted increase that you'll definitely feel. So, what does this actually mean for you? Well, it basically throws a wrench in that classic low-salary, high-dividend strategy that's been so popular. It really is time to have a serious look at your profit extraction mix. You might even think about bringing some dividends forward before that April 2026 deadline hits, but you've got to be careful and really assess how that might impact your cash flow. Now let's switch gears from income to assets. For homeowners in England, this number here, £2 million, is about to become very important. It's the new threshold for a surcharge on high-value homes. So here's how this is all going to roll out. And this is the crucial part. This new surcharge isn't going to be based on those ancient 1991 council tax bans. Nope. Instead, the Valuation Office Agency is going to carry out a completely new targeted valuation starting in 2026. And hey, it's not just about your home. If you're a business owner, you've really got to pay attention to this next part on business rates. The latest revaluation for commercial properties in England and Wales is now done, and those new values are set to take effect in April 2026. The good news is you can actually go online right now and check your property's future rateable value. It's so important that you do this and check all the details carefully. Now, here's the kicker. If you spot any mistakes with your current valuation, you have until the end of March 2026 to report them. After that date, you can only challenge the new valuation. All right, moving on from your finances, let's talk about another massive area of change, the new rules of work. A new employment rights bill is coming, and it's set to completely reshape the employment landscape in the UK. Whoa, okay, this is a huge one. The qualifying period for an employee to make an unfair dismissal claim, it's being slashed from 2 years all the way down to just 6 months. That's a 75% reduction. Just think for a moment about what that means for how you manage your team. And believe me, it doesn't stop there. Starting in April 2026, employees will get rights to sick pay and paternity leave from day one of their job. A new Fair Work agency is also being set up, and it's going to have some serious teeth to make sure businesses are following these new rules. Okay, so with all this change flying around, it's nice to have a little stability, right? Well, the Chancellor has reconfirmed that the UK's inflation target is staying at 2% for the next 12 months, and that at least gives us some level of certainty for business planning. Okay, now for something that needs your immediate attention. We've got 2 deadlines coming up fast that you really cannot afford to let slide. First up, the big one for many of us, your self-assessment tax return. You've got to get that 2024-25 return filed online and pay any tax you owe by January 31st, 2026. But if you're in the seafood industry, listen up, because your deadline is even sooner. We're talking January 10th, 2026 for new EU import and traceability rules. And this is a really big deal. If you export seafood to the EU, you're now going to need both a catch certificate and a processing statement that's linked directly to it. Let me be clear, if you don't have this enhanced paperwork sorted, your consignments will be blocked at the border. Simple as that. And finally, let's zoom in on a couple of important updates for 2 specific sectors: charities and food businesses. So, there's a new provision in the Charities Act giving trustees more power over something called a moral payment. So what on earth is that? Well, it's basically when a charity feels they should make a payment out of a sense of right and wrong, even if there's no strict legal contract forcing them to do it. And as the Charity Commission points out here, this is all about giving trustees more flexibility. It means they can make these common sense decisions on smaller amounts themselves without getting bogged down in red tape and needing the Commission's approval every single time.
And just a quick heads up for all you food businesses out there, with the festive season in full swing, things are probably a bit crazy, right? Well, the Food Standards Agency has your back. They're offering a bunch of free resources as part of their Safer Food Means Better business campaign.
So, here are 3 super practical things to keep on your radar. First, make sure any seasonal staff are totally up to speed on food hygiene and allergen management. Second, double, maybe even triple check all your allergen info for those festive menus. And third, if you've got a temporary setup like a Christmas market stall, make sure it meets all the proper safety requirements. Wow. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground today. We've talked about tax hikes, a whole new era of employment rights, and some seriously urgent deadlines. Every single one of these could have a real impact on your business. So the question I'll leave you with is, looking at everything you've got going on, which of these changes are you going to prepare for first?